Having said that, Saint-Domingue by the 1780s ended up with a population of about 500,000 slaves and about 40,000 mixed race people, and then about 30,000 whites. I'm going to use the term mixed race because I just don't want to run into the, he used the term that offends me thing that people do. So we're just going to go with mixed race. That population actually had multiple classes, so I want to talk about the classes real quick because it's complicated, but it's a little bit necessary so you have a little bit of sense of what's going on. So there were free blacks on the island. There were probably 10,000 people were free blacks. Those free blacks, as a general rule, tended to be well off. There were two types of free blacks. There were the ones born on the island, and then there were the ones who came as slaves and then earned their freedom later. And they didn't always see eye to eye, but as a general rule, they were willing to work together because they saw themselves as different from everybody else, including the slaves. They were in their own category. Some of them even owned plantations. Some of them even owned slaves. In fact, we're going to talk about one of those guys at some point. Then there were the mixed race guys. The mixed race guys, as a general rule, by the way, it didn't matter how much black you had. Any black made you mixed race in French eyes. There were two basic groups because it was up to, let's be honest, 90+% of the mixed race people living there were the product of a slave master and a slave. So it was really at that point then up to your dad what happens to you. And some were enslaved. Some put their children into slavery, and some freed their children. There wasn't a fixed rule on that. By the way, just for the record, it's no different in the United States. So when Thomas Jefferson's wife passed away, he picked up a relationship with Sally Hemings, a slave, on his plantation. Sally Hemings was the half-sister of his wife because they had the same dad. And her mother was also the product of a slave-master relationship. So Sally Hemings was actually only 1/4 black. And so Thomas Jefferson's children were 1/8 black, which, right, they probably didn't present as black. They probably presented as white. In other words, if you walked onto the plantation, you would have seen folk that looked white, but were slaves and were, in fact, Thomas Jefferson's own children. How weird is that? What the heck is that? I just can't push some of this through. Racism is really a powerful force. It motivates the weirdest stuff in people. I'm always bewildered and baffled by it. It's profound, and everybody has it. Because I know some of you in here are thinking, oh, I'm not a racist. Nope, sorry, that's not how this works. Everyone has it, and it's in part because of the way we've done implicit bias. So it's built into us. I don't care if you're brown, white, or black. It's built into us to see white supremacy everywhere. And as a result, there's aspiring to whiteness, and there's sort of this implicit bias thing that we do when we interact with white people. As a white person, I get white privilege all the time, and I notice it, and sometimes I use it to my advantage. My wife will on occasion go, Roy, I need you to white man this, and I will jump in there, and I will manipulate the situation in a really gross, obscene way and feel bad later. It's terrible, but that's the reality of the world we live in. And you should try it sometime. Get nursing shoe polish, right? Nursing shoes are white, and lather up and walk out into the public and check it out. It's amazing. It really is skin color. It's bewildering, but clearly it's also not, because here are these people who don't present. So it's complicated. All right.